Viewer discretion is advised.
After what seemed like an eternity.
Lock and load, bitches.
I'm gonna make that all one thing like John's done. Because
I'd take the eternity one out of that,
but hope everybody's having a good morning. Yeah, it's might be a little shorter if I get a text saying it's time to go. Joni has 3 doctor's appointments I have to drag her to today, so it takes planning when you have to have a wheelchair. That wheelchairs suck, man. I have a lot more. We've never dealt with one. I have a lot more respect for people who have to deal with them things. Man, it is a pain. They don't have enough parking. We need to get so handicap parking. Damn it! Can we get some kind of regulation on there? Just because you're old, you don't need handicap parking. You know how many times I pull up and I have to back the car out. I have to pull it, leave in the parking lot, get her out in a wheelchair, leave her in the parking lot, pull the van in the parking space because there's no handy. And you watch all these people strolling up to them like they're Richard Simmons. They've got their sweatbands on. They've been jogging around Costco. And I'm like, no, because Joni asked her doctor, she's like, whenever we first started this, and he goes, well, I guess he did it like he's supposed to. I guess we can give you one for 4 to 6 months. I mean, there's people out there. I mean, you can't always internalize pain. I get it because my wife looks normal, and well, I don't know. Joni has never been called normal, but but yeah, it's a thing, man.
I see it our pickup spots at Walmart are right next to the handicap spots. I see it all. There's drivers who use the handicap spot to sit there and wait.
I'm out of coffee.
I am not happy about it.
I'm not saying if you need it, by God, you need it, and you deserve it because I can walk. I'll park in the back of the parking lot. I don't care, but the people that need it should be. And you don't know until you don't.
My grandfather had the handicap placard, so when I drove him around, I would park in the handicap spots for him.
Yeah.
When I drove my grandmother around, I told her she had to walk because she wasn't handicapped. I mean, that's how I feel. I've always felt about that, but that's me. I mean, some other people don't feel the same way, but
so we've got what
she hated that.
Hopefully Friday will be 4 weeks left. So she was told the last visit 6 more weeks. She's at 30% weight, which means she can use her tippy toes, and that's it. The problem is when you got an ankle like this and you break it the long ways, you can't put weight on it because she was explaining to us, but I was on my phone. I was on half listening. I'm never going to remember anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am. That's why when I go to a doctor, when my wife goes to doctor's appointments, she usually goes by herself. When I go to doctor's appointments, I take my wife with me because I won't remember a damn thing that doctor's told me. And yes, I would drop her off at the front if I could.
That's been my life, and I have 4 more weeks of this life, by the way. Hopefully they'll let her start walking normally or half normally and do some rehab in the next month. But it's not a problem. I don't mind. That's the one thing, count your blessings of reselling. For those of you who are full-time resellers, one of the strengths that I don't think we talk about enough is when things happen, you have the ability to change your. That's what got to start thinking about today is do you evaluate the processes you use in your business and how often do you change them? So y'all know I talk about all this year. How many times have I changed the way I do stuff all year? And I'm not ashamed to admit it that I might be wrong about the way I think now, but it might fit my life better. So I went on a rant a month ago, 6 weeks ago about drafts. And I still believe that if you're putting complete listings in drafts and just waiting until, I've got 15,000 drafts and I'm going to put 10 up tomorrow and 10 up. I think you're doing yourself a disservice. You've done the work, put it out there, let it sell. But the draft function is very useful. So I'll tell you the story of yesterday. Baseball. You were in here just to cause trouble. If I knew who you really were,
I'm sure we could figure it out. We figured out lag.
damn it. What's that? Hey, in a minute. I'll just tell you. I'll get. I'm thinking about a conversation. Then we'll say good morning to everybody. So yesterday, I have this building is a disaster. So I started on that corner over there yesterday because I need more storage space. And so there's like 5 tubs there that have all these cables and all this crap on them. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go through these tubs. I need 2 shelves. I can take some of this stuff and put over there that's already listed. Because the problem I'm having is as I list stuff, I don't have anywhere to store it here. I have to take it to the other building. And I don't want to go to the other building. And so I look at the first 3 items and I'm like, whether to keep something or not. And if it was a keep, I threw it in this bucket. And if it was a not keep, it went in the trash can. And if it was Van Massey, which is our local auction, it went in that bucket. And there was a couple that went in I've got a box of cables that I know I'll keep these cables like RCA cables for VCRs, which I bought one yesterday. And so after I looked up like the 4th item, I'm like, that was a keeper. I'm like, why am I putting them in a bucket? Why am I not making a draft? I'm at the computer. I've looked the thing up. Why do I not just put the price I want in it and put the shipping I want in it? And then all I got left to do is take pictures. And so that's what I started doing. It's a change because normally I take pictures and then list, but this is the other way around when I'm going through things. I'm even to the point now where if I look it up at a yard sale, so this is the way changing the way I think and process it when I get home. If you take time to look up at a yard sale, it doesn't take that much time to hit sell similar, and then until it closes and jump out of it, it makes it starts your listing, which gives you a draft to work on when you get home. So that's anybody else have those kind of thoughts? Just wonder. All right, so let's see who's here. John Jones, good morning. So John had a good comment on the video yesterday. Talked about just because a box says 1044 or whatever, sometimes you need to verify those. The one thing I didn't put in the video about cubic shipping is you measure to the nearest 1/4 inch. So if it's 10.12, it's 10. If it's 10.13, it's 10 1/4. It's the nearest 1/4 inch on cubic shipping. So that's how people go, I don't know how I got charged different. You know, it was 10.4 and I rounded it down to 10. It's to the nearest 1/4 inch. So you should have rounded that up to 10.5. And that might make, if you're on the difference of one of the levels between 0.1 and 0.11, or it might make a difference on your, which
by default, you always round up if you don't know, you always go up instead of down.
Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Phil. Flip it good. Good morning, Tom. The world's greatest troll lag. What's up? Mr. Lagerman. Claudia, Victoria, Chastity. Hey, Nanatink. Good morning. King G. Tracy. It's good to see Tracy yesterday. He's had I would tell you about his health problems, but it hurts. Stones. Kidney stones.
He made a post I saw the other day about it.
Yeah, y'all missed a good one. He said, what was your line, Tracy? Tracy said, whenever they took the stent out, talking about, she reached down, grabbed me, and tried to start me like I was an old Breeze and Stratton lawnmower. I'm like, oh, God.
Ooh, yikes.
Ow.
I hope that never happens to me.
We had to have it done twice. And so we saw him last night at wing night. I'm like, did they start you like a lawnmower? He goes, yeah, it was in both sides this time. He says some choice words, but Lola, good morning. Dave Jarvis, what's up, man? You change almost daily. I said, I think you're right, David. And you can, if you want to write that down in a little book, David, and I decided you were right, you can call me and remind me about it today on at 8:10 on the 28th that I told you were right. But I think each situation is so different, man. It's not right for every person. There's no right or there's no wrong way, but you've got to be effective for your business and because we all don't think the same. Thank God we don't all think like Steve.
Thank God you don't think like
Man, what a world this would be.
Could be great, but
but every one of us sees things differently. Every one of us processes things. So I was in Victoria's chat for a little while this morning, And she's like, Scott said a couple things and left. I'm like, I had left. I'm listening. I'm trying to set the show up because, and she's like, you didn't do this yesterday. She's like, I've got a show set up all week. I'm like, yeah, I've been a procrastinator for 55 years. And heck, I'll just keep being one, I guess. My phone goes off yesterday. It says set up show. And I went, okay. Okay. Anybody else want to miss? Oh, Eric, good morning. See how far down the list you are, Eric? It's terrible, man. Mark is present. Good morning, Mark. Jacob, what's up, man? Amy Lee, good morning. Good morning. Patricia, we missed it. Back row bitter Chuck, good morning. Carl, what's up, man? And the world's greatest picker, Mike. If y'all don't follow the crazy card, if you want to see some, if y'all want to look at the guy who the stuff he finds and just be angry all the time, it's like that thing. It's like what Dusty used to do. Dusty used to show you a piece of paper and go, "Hell, I sold this for $30." Mike picks up something and go, "This was $200." I'm like, I would have walked right by. I'm like, damn.
I feel the same, and he's putting out videos again. Terminal 99. Every time he puts out a video, I'm like, man, I suck.
If you can get past the guy, he's a touch boring. He's super nice, but he's a little on the boring side. But he is so smart. Did he stop eBay too at one point? Because I know at one point,
I think so.
he
They had a
video, he was
knife
angry.
issue or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he was angry. Racer Stricken, good morning. Good morning.
But yeah, I've been watching his videos lately, and I feel it makes me feel a little dumb by the knowledge that guy has, and I'm sure it's the same with
there's
the crazy card too.
There's so much so Nanting, it is tough when people in handicap spots too, because you just don't know. Johnny will, everybody who's met her in person knows that, like when we went to Cincinnati, first day they're like, "Where's Johnny?" I'm like, we drove all the way up here 6 hours in the car. Her back's on fire. She'll see you at dinner tonight. She'll be around the next day or two. And then when we get home, it's same thing. You can't some people have pain. Like, y'all do realize my wife has had 18 surgeries now. And we go, it's today, I think today's the day. One of the visits is to find out if she has to have surgery on her elbow, where it broke in the same fall where she broke that. So that could be number 19. We'll find out today. I think today. But so you don't know, but people, if you don't need them, don't take them. There's so many people out there that be thankful for your health. Be thankful that you can run around a parking lot. It's don't take that for granted.
The older I get and the heavier I get, the more I want to take a farther spot away so that I have that opportunity to,
Yeah, that's one easy way to up your steps in a day and up your movement is to park farther out in the parking lot and add the extra steps. They always say, well, take the stairs, but how many people are going to take the stairs? But walking in a parking lot is fairly, except for the 3 days in Alabama. Today's going to be like 102.
We had 90 yesterday, at least 90, and it was a boiler for us. I mean, that's a lot for us.
Yesterday, lag walks. Did you walk 17 steps total lag? Is that like around your basement, a little circle? But I think it's so important that you evaluate because. So what happened yesterday? So yesterday I ended up with an entire bucket full of stuff. Ran out of time to take pictures, so I went to Wings with the guys and went to a couple thrift stores and came home. And when I got home, I hadn't thought about it. It just occurred to me to start the draft in the store, by the way. So that was, y'all just saw my mind in. So from now on, I'll start doing that. But because I looked at, some things I buy, I don't look up. Yesterday, the black Magnavox dual player, I didn't look it up. I know it's worth $100. I didn't look it up. It was more important to me that I put a VHS tape in it to make sure it didn't eat the tape in the store. And when it didn't eat the tape, I bought it. But to evaluate so when I get home last night, I'm like, it'll take me a few minutes. So now I've got a phone that's got all these drafts on it, and I've got all the pictures. Y'all know I carry 2 phones. Okay, well, I have a confession to make. I carry 3 phones now. Oops. So I needed more data on the one because 2 gigabytes. I wanted to use Google search on that phone, and that uses some more. And I noticed that it would be like $22 for that phone. But for 26, I could have both phones share 10 gigs of data. I'm like, for whatever reason, $4 didn't seem like a big deal. So now, so there's a difference in phones. So if you've never had an iPhone and Android, a lot of people never switch. So y'all know Harlan. I gotta remind me to tell a story about Harlan in a minute.
Tell a story about Harlan in a minute.
He has an Android phone. I've always had Android phone. I've had mixtures of phones. Right now, I'm on iPhones. Yard sale treasure maps does not show Android and iPhone the same sales.
They do not. I figured that out recently.
And if you're an iPhone user and you're using Yard Sale Treasure Map, you see less sales than somebody with an Android phone. You know, because there was one day Harlan and I were going to yard sales Friday or Saturday, and Harlan's like, "There's one up over here. It's on Yard Sale Treasure Map," and I'm looking at Yard Sale Treasure Map. And I'm like, "Are you smoking crack? Do you have it on Friday instead of Saturday or Saturday?" And that's when we realized, the light bulbs went on in the van and go, "Wait a minute, these phones are." The same app does not work the same on the phones, and Android seems to get more sales, which is strange. And so for $4, I'm like, if I get 3 extra yard sales a year by having the third phone laying around the car, because I compare the treasure maps to make sure, it's probably worth the $4. I really don't use it much unless. So I tell you all this to tell you today, I have 3 doctor's appointments to take Johnny to. But I have a phone that now has 24 drafts and enough pictures for 24. And so while I'm sitting in the waiting room, waiting for Johnny to come back, because I generally don't go back there with her because whatever. And when you've been to as many doctor's appointments so I'll sit there, I'll list on eBay. And so hopefully by the time I get done, I'll have all those eBay listings up. And when I get home, I'm going to ship after the show. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of time. What? And so I'm trying to take advantage of the time. And so it's just the other reason why I was doing it the other way is taking the pictures first is because I found myself in the evenings after dinner, old man sitting in a recliner, gets too tired, and I can talk myself into coming out here and doing work for a couple hours, which would really push my business even farther forward. But I'm like, if I'm sitting in the recliner and I've got one of these phones that's got all these pictures on them, I'll make eBay listings. I can sit there and watch videos. It's scary to see some of y'all on my big 60-inch TV, by the way. Could we get some makeup? And everybody, I don't watch myself, me and Steve, so I don't have to be scared of us. But Roman, what's up, dude?
Roman puts out some funny videos. I like
Roman's funny. He's just on Saturday nights. That's usually one of the nights that I take off, and so I'm usually watching.
I watch a lot of his shorts.
Yeah, and Roman's on the TV, and John's on the TV. John, it's a good thing you got Jenna to balance you out. That's all I got to say. There you go. You did look like a ghost, by the way, in your last show. You look like because if you have a black shirt, black hat, the black seat, these cameras wash you out pretty good. You enjoy Lag's videos. Does he even have a video? Interesting. But it's so
videos are the best kind of video.
Ron said he's got a kidney stone, 59th surgery in 13 years. Holy crap, dude. That's I know you were struggling with that, so we'll be
There's a lot of surgery.
That's a lot.
I've had one surgery in my entire life, So I don't.
We had a friend, my mother's friend. She passed away at 59. Deb was just an amazing person, but she had 60, and that was the most I knew of anybody. So Ron's about to pass her. Steve has never. Have you ever worked in radio? I don't think so.
I took communications classes in college. I had a radio show there, but that was it. That was a long time ago. I could, but I don't want to.
Just think about it. If we had cameras,
this is not my radio voice. I had a different voice for radio. It was a little bit deeper and more pronounced.
But it's
KECC was the radio station.
But each situation if you think your way through and take advantage of all your time, it's amazing that if so this afternoon I will know that it's Wednesday. I'll probably end up inside tonight because I've been up since and Dementia Dog woke me up at 4:30. What the hell?
I'm not going to do the radio voice because it's been so long. I have to practice it.
Next week, tune in. He will do the radio voice.
No, probably not. I don't like being put on the spot. I will screw it up.
And so I will take some pictures this afternoon, knowing that if I'm in after dinner, if I'm sitting in the recliner or whatever, I'll be able to get a bunch more listings up. So I challenge you, look at your, oh Lord, we are blessed this morning. So
hey, yeah, it was a good time to tell
Lock and load, bitches.
What was that?
It was your introduction.
I had a Harlan story. Now I forgot what the hell it was. What was I even talking about?
We let it go longer than a minute because you said, remind me in a minute, and I waited too long.
I know what it is. Probably Saturday.
Y'all know. Let me see if I can recreate it in my mind. I've got too much stuff. I can't go to yard sales anymore. Okay, that's how I remember. I remember it just like that. I remember
my hand up and I twinkle my finger.
In my mind, it was on the phone, so in my mind,
you just visualize.
I try to figure the wimpiest way I can think of Harlan. That's fine. Okay. Saturday morning, I did good for Harlan and I. We put the gang back together Friday. We bought a bunch of stuff at 4 or 5 yard sales.
Yeah, very few yard sales, but the ones we went to, we got some stuff.
And so I'm looking at the thing, and I'm like, there's only 5 or 6 more yard sales, but one looked really good. It turns out it was a reseller, so he knew how to put all the keywords in there. Which, do you go to reseller yard sales? This thing was at 7:00 across town. I needed to stop at the bank to grab some money. I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving here at like 6:10 or maybe 6 o'clock, whatever it was. I roll into the yard sale at 6:20, and I pull up to the driveway. I'm like, there's that big ass red truck. What the hell's he doing here? Mr. I Quit Yard Sales is at a yard sale 40 minutes early. And already had a pile. He already had a pile. So, but y'all know, y'all have watched us long enough. We don't buy the same stuff. Harlan had all these cards on those stuff that I don't do. It's to the point, if I see cards and stuff, I'm looking at the auction. I'm like, Harlan, there's pallets of cards at the auction. I have no interest in cards. I know there's money, but if you don't like it, you don't like it. And so, can you buy how much? I rolled into that yard sale with somewhere between $450 and $500, and when I left, I didn't even have a one. I spent every single dollar at the freaking yard sale.
Wow!
Every single one. I've got video of this. I got video of Harlan at that yard sale when he wasn't supposed to be.
I had $19 left, and I don't know how much Marcia had with her, but she spent quite a bit too. I told her there was a yard sale at 6 a.m. out near the house, and she said, "What time are you going to pick me up?" And I said, "You want to go to it?" And she's like, "Sure." And I said, I'll pick you up at 6. And she goes, "Well, if you want to be late, then fine." I'm like, "Okay."
Folks, right now, I just listen to this. Marcia is a freaking keeper. Y'all hear this?
Sounds like my wife.
Be there at 5:50, and it was right over near this barbecue restaurant that serves breakfast. So we were going to go to that one at 6, and then eat breakfast at 7 when they opened. Well, they weren't even there. They didn't even have their yard sale. So I looked on the map, and that one was there, and I said, "I think me and Scott's been to this one before." So we get there, and it's like I got there at 6:10. I said, "There's no way they're going to be open." Well, they were putting stuff out, and Scott rolled up at 6:15.
And so, okay, so I need to. Harry Tornado probably doesn't watch my videos. We've met him in person. Harry's a good guy. We met about him and his wife, and a couple times, as a matter of fact. So we're talking to the guy, we're buying stuff, and he's trying to convince us, you need to take this for $5. It's all on video. Y'all guys are gonna see this because I'm gonna try to get it edited the next day or two. And with my new camera, I got a GoPro 11. I'm curious to see what it looks like. And he says, too bad Harry Tornado's not here because I got all these shoes I was selling. And I'm like, what are we waiting on Harry Tornado for? Go get the shoes.
Better go get those shoes.
I'm like, I was making videos before Harry even decided to resell. And he's like, he's like, what's your channel again? I'm like, I'm the bearded picker. He goes, I recognize you because you chopped that damn big ass beard off.
That's it. You got to bring the beard back.
One day I'm gonna be in disguise. I'm gonna shave my face off, and
I'm bringing beard back. Yeah,
y'all never gonna know who I am. They're gonna go, who's that ugly dude? Grow the beard back. I ended up buying. I don't know. Okay, so don't come at me in the comments. We can if you want to. I'm not like these other people who whine and complain about comment. I've got all my filters set up. You can say certain words, which I'm not even going to tell you what they are. And then the comments go to hidden. And would you like to review them? And I click on them and I see all these words that somebody has written some montage. And I go, you know what? Delete. I don't even read them. So there you go. There's your warning. He had them in mail bags, the big white mail bags. He brought out 4 of these big white mail bags. I mean, full, like to the top, holding of shoes. I bought 3 of them. 3 complete bags. There must be 50, 60 pairs. One of the first times I bought them, he added up, there was 33. And then I bought, because I carried to the car because they were in the way. People kept walking up. When you've got a pile of shoes, it's as big as this desk, people start going through them. I'm like, no, those are the ones I'm keeping. What do you do? There was 5 pairs of Hoka's, 5 pairs of Allen Edmonds, 5 pairs of G4 golf shoes. No telling how many LeBrons and Jordans I bought in there. I mean, it was just.
So this guy is a reseller. It's not just random pairs of shoes. This is stuff that he has bought at thrift stores or whatever to resell. He's resold some stuff, but he said he took a job and he just don't have time. He had tons of stuff. There's no telling what else he had.
There's a funny comment in a video y'all see where he says, you know, my reselling philosophy is to go and spend $10 or $20 at the store and sell it in my driveway for $5.
Some of the shoes had stickers more than $5 on them. What he paid for them.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when a reseller decides not to be a reseller anymore, you tend to.
No, he's not. He's not that.
You just want it.
He decided he had too much because he took a job.
Oh, yeah,
but he's still selling. But
I've done it. My driveway's been full of stuff for $1. I don't care. I just want it gone at that point. I don't care what I paid for it originally.
There's lots of lessons. Lots of lessons, Steve, at this yard sale everybody can use. I don't care how small you are, even if you don't have a channel. He said, what else do you buy? And I started telling him, he goes, I got some of that I'm going to sell. I'm like, I'm going to get to it later. I'm like, you don't even have to have a yard sale. Here's my card. I'll come by just like I did now. I'll buy everything again. And it does work because, you know, Harlan got a call back on a card. You know, I'm not going to tell you everybody's going to call you back and they might lose it, but you know, for $20, you can get 1,000 of these stupid things. You know, are you willing to invest $20 in your business and a little bit of creativity, name, you know, product? You can make up something, whatever you do. It's easy. Product liquidator, whatever you want to call yourself. Instead, people.
I've been wanting to do a card for a long time, and I kept talking about it. So, my girlfriend handed me a box of cards she had made for me.
Okay, so here's one thing you should know about Marcia. Do not tell Marcia anything that you don't. If you're not prepared to do it right now, or you're not going to do what you say, not tell Marcia because she's going to remind you and call you out on it. Didn't you say you're going? I started wearing the camera again. I'm gonna start making some videos of the yard sales. And she's like, I ran into her. She's like, I'm glad you got the camera on. Because you keep talking about it. I'm like, I can't even say it in the video anymore. Shit.
Oh, she was on me last night because I mean I'm telling her what I want to do, and then I start doing other stuff instead, and she keeps reminding me of that. Kind of got a deadline put on me last night. I've got all these videos shot. I've got reselling videos shot. I've got to edit them, got to upload them. I've got them all ready pretty much, and I just haven't done it yet. So
you got that twice then, because you got that pretty good from Justin too.
Justin was on me last night. Yeah.
Jennifer, good morning. I haven't seen you in a while. What's up?
Hey, Jennifer.
I hadn't talked to you in like 12 hours. But it's amazing that I spent all my money. I'm like, you know what? I could go to the bank. I had to go empty the van, so I just quit for the day. But the shoes, and this, they were really nice shoes. Because when a reseller tells you if they didn't comp 30 minimum $30, I didn't buy them. All the shoes, Ariat boot, a pair of Ariat boots. There were all kinds of stuff in there. And I don't know what Marcia bought. What 10 or 12, 15 pairs of shoes too?
I think so.
I mean, there was just tons. When we left, he may have had 20 pairs. I mean, we bought everything except a little bitty pile in the middle. He bought out 4 of those big bags.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But it's the difference. Harlan and I talk about this a lot off camera too, especially. Is you walk up to a yard sale, we buy for eBay, for Amazon, for a local auction, anything we can find. You would walk up behind us and think, man, this yard sale sucks. They didn't have nothing. Oh, they had something. We just bought it all.
So I got there at 6:10. He was there at 6:15. It started at 7. The amount of people that rolled in at 6:58 was kind of funny. I was like, too late.
And the only reason I even went that early is I was trying to get the other ones. Did you go to the other one in that neighborhood? I didn't even go to the other one because I didn't have any money.
No, we went and ate breakfast and went home after that.
That's how bad it was. There was another one in that neighborhood, and neither one of us went.
Only had $19 left.
I didn't have any. I mean,
you can buy a lot of good stuff with $19.
He was selling me shoes for $5 each, and I'm like, I've only got $37. He goes, well, that sounds like 8 pairs of shoes. I'm like, I think I picked out 6 pairs of shoes and bought that sailboat.
But also, this is the end of August, coming up 1st of September. You buy a lot of stuff like that, and you're like, God, it's going to take, forever to list it, or it's going to take me a while to get to it. But you know what? Yard sales are about to be done.
Yeah, for most of the country, we have 6 weeks left?
Yeah.
We have to probably mid-September tops for good yard sales.
Because this is the first week of our 19th championship season. Go ahead and call that out right now. Championship number 19 is the week number 1. Eric, I did buy a sailboat. Hooked it up to the van and drug it home.
Here's the title of your video. I bought a sailboat to resell or something like that. And it'd be that tiny little thing.
I thought like somebody this yard sale took all my money.
That could be good too.
Yeah. Literally, it did. Was that $5 for that sailboat?
It was 10. It's a remote control sailboat.
Mm-hmm.
One of those big ones. I mean, big ones.
Yeah, football starts tomorrow night. It's going to be a rough weekend. I mean, NFL doesn't start next weekend, so we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night.
It started last Saturday when FSU's already played a game. College football's already back.
Yeah. Well, for one game. This is the official week.
So Mark said yard sales don't even start until September there. Must be hot. Must be cooling off. I know Vegas and some of those hotter places will pick up some more yard sales going into this time of year. But it's
I love some Vegas yard sales. Woo!
We'll have them until October, but most people don't. There's you hear 2 or 3.
That was one hell of a day. That yard sale day. I paid for my entire Vegas trip. the yard sales that morning.
That first yard sale, if we'd have had more space, there was so
That might have been the only one we didn't need a truck to get out of there.
Uh-huh. And you picked me up at the airport. Was that the first or second one that we hit? I can't remember. It's one of the first or second ones you picked me up at the airport. But they had those fold up, take it to somebody's house and set it up massage tables. And I mean, nice massage tables. I had one out of the box, and was it 3 or 4 still in the box? $100 due in the box.
Yeah, it was like 75. It was like 75 for the one that was out of the box, 100 in the box.
That was nice.
Yeah, I bought that drone out there. I bought several things out there. That drone's so fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be back in Vegas in November. I don't know if there'll be any sales out there or not. November 14th or 15th, I think is one.
All right, so Jersey Jane's got a question. Dynamic ad cap and ad rate means exactly what? So if you're doing 10%, so the dynamic ad cap. So say you're selling this cup, this mug. For some people do sell it. This is one of the It's one of the Bucky's mugs. And say you want a 10% ad rate. That means they're going to set your ad rate at 10%. If you want a cap with a dynamic cap, that means if the cups, if they determine that the average rate of the cups is 8.5, the cap will stop at 8.5. Dynamically, it'll move around as if people decide, you know what, I'll spend 9, and the average for those cups moves up to 9, it'll move your ad dollars up to 9. What about if they go to 12? It'll stop at 10. So the dynamic one moves around underneath your rate. If you set a rate, if you say I want to throw 10% at it, it'll throw the straight 10% at it. But hopefully that's clear. So Phil says eBay is screwing with the picture section at the top of the listing page on the PC this morning. Like said, he recommends a 40% cap. So there you go. Like is going to run you out of business. Mike Sellers, I got 2 sales. Very, very nice. I don't think I've sold anything on eBay this morning. But there's so many thoughts of the way to do things. And where something might be right for you now, I think you should evaluate much more often than we do and be willing to change to what you do, because it is take advantage of, to be more flexible, to be more efficient. Because I think that's where I struggle. Is that's where can I get more work? Because I'm old and I need to get more work done in the time that I know I'm working, and so. Jennifer, how much money have you lost? That's all I got to ask you. I've been telling you for about a year to sign up for Bonanza. There ain't nothing to it. I just connect your freaking account. At least a year I've been telling you. Just think about the 5 years I told you to sell on Amazon, for God's sakes. But we're talking. Jennifer and I were talking yesterday about how disappointing it is with eBay. She was a heavy seller on eBay. I mean, heavy seller, selling a lot, and now putting the same stuff up there and the same type of merchandise. Even with her experience in thousands of items sold, it's Amazon's what's keeping things going, because the sales. I mean, it is so screwed up. When I tell you, When I tell you this chicken sold a lot, 67,000 items sold. Jennifer, do you realize you sold 67,000 items on eBay? We're not talking about somebody who's never sold on eBay, who struggled with eBay. We're talking somebody who is insanely good at eBay and is very frustrating. 67,000 items sold. So when a seller of that caliber tells you that it's everything is dramatically changed.
I just looked at mine, 8.6 thousand. So she's got me beat by a lot. That's this account, but
7
I don't
times.
have that many on the other one. Yeah.
Jersey Day, no problem. If anybody's got questions, that doesn't include multiple orders.
Right.
Because the things she sells, they do buy multiple orders and they look at your account and go, need that as well. Because she sells hard to find things.
Jersey Jane made another comment. Did you see what that was?
So if the ad cap is 10% and the ad rate is 2, so if the cap is 10, but you sell us an item that nobody's advertising and the average is 2%, it'll put it at 2. The only way that it doesn't, the ad cap will not move. If you say I want to do 10% on this item, it's going to do 10% on that item. You've got to use the dynamic to move it around.
Yes, Mark, that's what it says when I go to my page here. That's just eBay, of course. Amazon probably rivals that.
And I think eBay is, we're talking about this. eBay has lost their way because eBay sellers are different than Amazon sellers. You've got so many smaller sellers and you got so many sellers that really care about the platform. And I think that's what hurts the most is eBay was so good for so long, and it felt like they cared. It felt like you had a vested interest in the platform and doing things right. And now they can not care one bit what we think. No. She was talking about the number of items. So. Yeah. So Jersey Jane, the dynamic is good. It will help you move around and do some things, but be very careful. I don't trust eBay. That's sad to say that I don't trust eBay. I don't trust eBay anymore. I don't trust what they tell you the average ad rate is. Because just think about this. If they're telling you that an average ad rate is 13%, that's going to double their fees. They're 13.5%. I've already made videos and I've already proven to myself and hopefully proven to you guys that they are keeping your money on Ground Saver, UPS Ground Saver. Do your shipping on Pirate Ship if you have a UPS available and you use UPS. Ground Advantage will be almost the same. Those numbers on Pirate Ship, they're within a penny. They're almost always identical. But if you use UPS Ground Saver, 99 out of 100 times, it is significantly less on Pirate Ship.
Hey, those ground savers, they pick those up just like regular UPS packages, right?
Yeah. UPS, basically all it is UPS delivers it to the hub in the city it's going to, and then the post office carries it the last mile. A lot of times it's just as fast as Ground Advantage because UPS will get it to the city faster than Ground Advantage would have. But I'm telling you right now, Mark said, wow, Lonnie sold a lot of stuff. Just think about that. Lonnie has sold a lot of stuff, and it's half of what Jennifer, just a random name in my chat, has sold double. There you go. The bigger, just because you don't know people in the chat, you don't know how experienced these sellers are. Chances are they don't have. You'd be hard for us to find Jennifer on any social media. You'd have to know you're looking for her.
She's hiding. What the heck?
She's hiding. I know.
Speaking of selling a lot, Amy Lee is in the chat.
Oh yeah. Makes comments every now and then. If you don't know who Amy Lee, that girl's a hustler. Ain't no other way to describe, man. She It's a hustler.
Mhm. And part-time. Well, part-time, but
All right.
probably full-time. She has a full-time job.
But it's so disappointing with it. So when you're UPS, what are they doing with that money? You know, I would think that Pirate Ship and eBay would negotiate the same. If they've got the same commercial rate with one, you know they're gonna have the same commercial rate with the other. You know, right now the one thing I would tell you is eBay is past the year over year where they started with these crazy promoted listings numbers. I think that was April or May. Whenever the average promoted listing started creeping up, it was in the 3, 4, 5, and now it's, you know, I don't. It's rare that I see one below 9%. I mean, it's rare. I
And you
suggest
know
the rate
what?
below.
As long as people keep giving them that money, guess what's going to
Mhm.
keep going higher? That. It's going to keep going up and up.
And so how do you get more money without really doing anything? Oh, look, you know, we'll save a little money for anybody who uses UPS. I don't know how much it affects people because the ground advantage is cheaper a lot of time. So that's what made me start noticing a difference. Is a couple times I shipped on eBay just to see if anything had changed, but the one thing I noticed is ground advantage is almost always cheaper than UPS Saver. I'm like, that's weird because when I ship on Pirate Ship, it's the exact opposite. Everything goes UPS, and so it just made me start looking and realize that if ground advantage is the same on both platforms and UPS is cheaper, beating ground advantage, there's a problem in the pricing. Because only one platform is showing that it beats it. And I like UPS because they pick up in my driveway, winning.
I think when I go back to full time, I'm just switch over to shipping on Pirate Ship. You've convinced me. It all comes out of the same money. It's not like, you know.
A lot of times, Steve, it's $2 and $3.
I know.
I mean, there were some packages yesterday that Ground Advantage was significantly cheaper. UPS doesn't do post office boxes, so that they surcharges, or if it's a one area where the post office is always cheaper than UPS, if you're sending something to the middle of nowhere, because UPS and FedEx have both started that adding $2 or $3 for a rural package or whatever they're calling it, rural service or whatever they call it. If it because it costs them more to put one of their trucks a one-off where the post office is going there anyway. And so that is one of the cases where the post office wins, or we win because the post office is cheaper.
I don't know about that one, Mark. That's interesting. I don't think that would stand up. If you paid UPS to ship your thing and they have $100 insurance on it, if they sub it out to somebody else, I don't see how they could drop the insurance.
Yeah, it would be
sounds illegal.
Like yeah, I mean they're the responsible shipper, even though they sub it out.
Okay,
that's how I would see it. Now one's going to blame it on the other.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion. I really self-insure for the most part. I don't pay any attention to it. I ship well enough and pack well enough that I very rarely have a problem. And if I do, I haven't filed an insurance claim in several years. I just
whatever. I've filed some back in that. Remember that December when we did UPS fell apart and we lost a lot of packages. I filed a lot of claims then, and then maybe one broken item claim in all the years I've been selling.
Most of the stuff I buy is from yard sales anyway, or that kind of, the cost in them is so low, or you know, it's just, what is your time worth when you start chasing these things? Truck can burn down. How often does that really happen? I mean, warehouses can catch fire. Amazon warehouses catch fire. The one here in Huntsville caught fire before they even opened it. It happens. Hey, Mark, what's up, man? Do we have a link?
Good. I got a question for Mark.
Are you trustworthy enough to get a link, Mark?
I gotta turn my fan on. It's getting warm in here.
I saw somebody the other day. I forgot who it was. Their storage facility had burned.
Oh, that would suck.
The fire was 3 or 4 units down from theirs. They wouldn't let anybody in yet, but they were going to be going to see what all was messed up. Can't remember who that was.
Victoria, I agree with you. Pirate ships. Every now and then I'll do the other one just because whatever. But so here's the way it works. And so if I have an item that's more expensive that I'm concerned about, I will change my shipping method so that because I don't think Ground Saver has the insurance might be the issue. There's not a ton of insurance on there. If there's any kind of questions, I will push it up to UPS Ground, or I'll push it up to Priority. I will do something to the effect where I know that it's covered. But like today, what have I got to ship out today on eBay? Let's not look at Jennifer's. Let's look at mine. Let's see. Today is some bug spray, a grinder, some little caps for a car wheels, and some deodorant. I mean, I'm not concerned about any of those. And
so I've got a video I'm going to put out, and it's going to be kind of about pirate ship. I talked to Scott about this when I was in Colorado for my daughter's wedding last week. We decided to do some yard sales, and we found some good stuff, and our suitcases were already maxed out. So we decided we was going to ship it back. So I got one of the large boxes from Walmart. Yeah, bad idea. A lot of stuff to learn in this video once I get it out. And we went to ship it at the UPS store.
Don't do that.
So 55-pound box going back from Colorado to Huntsville, Alabama was $166.19. So ended up using 2 boxes that was 22 by 17 or 19, something like that. It was like a medium box from Walmart, shipped 2 back for $68. So
any of the services, the 24-inch mark is where they start.
And that was using Pirate Ship to do the $68, not the UPS store. They were
back when we were. Remember when we were buying all those bras? We had a bunch on our way down to Nashville, and I was going to send them back via UPS, and that's before I knew about Pirate Ship or anything like that. And we went there, and it was about the same. It was like $150 or something to send them back home. We hadn't taken the hangers off, so we ended up taking all the hangers off and all that stuff. And finally, I think we sent them back after that.
You don't hang your bras up, Steve?
Well, not when it costs that much money.
So, Scott, I was thinking of going to York, Pennsylvania for one of the biggest postcard shows. The drive from Chicago to there, probably 2-day trip, stay overnight. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday. Well, what if I flew to Baltimore and just drove over there? I used to fly into Baltimore all the time, rent a car, and then ship them home. Well, 1 box of postcards, 10 pounds. Well, what if I rent a car? That's like $900 to drive back. Am I going to get enough stuff to pay for my trip? Hey, John.
Morning. How you guys doing?
So I'm still on the fence if I want to go out there and see the people and stuff like that more than anything than postcards, but I don't know if I'm going to find $2,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah, your color of shirt does matter, John, because you actually have I don't know if you can see it in your monitor, but you don't look like a ghost at all today.
No, wearing that black shirt doesn't help.
There's ways to do it. They try to talk me into driving to a wedding in Michigan, and I'm like, I can spend 6 hours looking around and pay for all that. I just decided I didn't want to drive 22 hours in 4 days.
When my car broke down up in Maine a couple years ago, it was cheaper for me to fly up there than it was a one-way rental on a car. So we flew.
Yeah, but Harlan found out you can't pay counter service anywhere. You've got to use Pirate Ship. Pirate Ship is a game changer because it gives you it gives you commercial rates for your personal stuff. You know, before that, how many times does somebody go, I'm gonna put a penny thing up there, just buy it, and I'll use eBay's rates. I mean, I can't be the only one. Everybody in the chat confess that y'all did all that stuff. Anyway,
I've never done it, but
yeah, right.
no, absolutely not. I haven't.
But it gives you what we never had before is the option for commercial shipping. There's other services. Anybody know? Will Vico will it allow you to do personal, like pirate ship is so easy just to put an address in there and ship to anywhere.
My mother-in-law wanted to send something to us, and I walked her through how to set up pirate ship because it's so much cheaper.
Mm-hmm. But it's you save easy 30% from the counter, and that's why I had this conversation with Jason all the time. I'm like, he'll be ringing up somebody in front of me at the post office. Y'all don't know Jason is the postal guy, and he'll charge him, and he looks at me and he won't laugh, and I'm laughing behind the people. I'm like, do you even feel guilty charging people this much?
I've told people in the post office as they're ringing out, go home and try pirate ship next time. I don't care.
Okay,
and the post office doesn't care either when I tell them.
So Jacob says Vico will do it as well. So
what I like about pirate ship is when you chat with them. Like I had a lady buy a bunch of stuff, $150 worth of stuff, and going to Canada. When she gave me the address, I said, wow, it's $70. So I chatted with him. I go, is this correct? And the guy went out and did his little test and stuff and said, yep, valid address, and this is what it is. And it was right away too. I didn't have to wait with pirate ship.
That's one thing I've heard about pirate ship is their customer service is pretty exceptional.
Yeah, you got to talk pirate with them, but it's good.
So Paul Philippers here says, John, you're up early. Dude, I left a comment on your video. Did you get it?
No, I didn't.
I talked about it Friday. I'm talking about Paul. He
okay.
Dude, set up the keywords in the back end of your YouTube where it filters out all the comments. So the people of the words that piss you off, and then go to the hidden, and they've written all these diatribes and all stuff, and you have such satisfaction knowing that nobody else but you saw it, and you didn't even read it because you did the mass delete on all them MFers. There's so much.
I can't.
So much joy.
I have to read them.
I don't read them. There's
yeah,
so much joy.
I got Philly Flipper in mine, so I never see his. He's blocked.
So much joy. It's amazing, man. Nobody. It gives you freedom of mind because not everybody's gonna like you. I met you in person. We had a great time. You're a good dude, man. It's people they hide behind these keyboard warriors. They hide behind these keyboards, think they can say it. You know, Gen X is a little different. And Harlan will tell you we're the oldest up here, and Mark. If you said some of that mess that's said online, you start losing teeth and stuff because you get the crap beat out of you. You have a respect for people because
have you ever heard of sea lion trolls?
No.
Look it up. There's a bunch of people out there that just like sea lions, they sit there and they take up your time, and that's what they do, and they go talk about it with other people in forums. Is they're taking up this person's time asking questions, and they're called sea lion trolls. But people changing their business because of one negative or one little issue. You don't see Walmart these guys. If one thing went bad, they're changing their whole processes. It's just people's opinion. Let them talk.
Yeah, you've got to be you, and then be comfortable. Just not to mention, Paul. Wouldn't nobody say anything to you in person? Damn, you're as big as this building. Shit.
Yeah.
These people are so insignificant, and they're trying to find meaning in their life by screaming attention because they can't make a video. They're not interesting. People don't like them. I mean, there's a whole host of reasons why they're hateful in your comments. They got to go away.
I always embrace the trolls, and I usually kill them with kindness, and they end up going away. I used to be able to diffuse troll, but I had that type of channel back in the day that the interaction made more sense. You know, a reselling channel doesn't make as much sense.
Paul said he's trying to find strength through joy.
You know, they didn't actually use those exact words. However, a long time ago, when they first started using the word joy a lot. I'm a Volkswagen collector. I know a lot about Volkswagen stuff. When Volkswagens were first designed, the town that they were built in was called Strength Through Joy Town. That's what it translates to. I'm like, oh shit, somebody's gonna find this information. Just even if they didn't use the exact terminology, that's the KDF. That's right, KDF. You got to do that.
That's Malakaka. You didn't recognize it?
There's a bad echo when it comes through.
Yeah. I like when people come in and pick apart a video and it's not even about the postcard I'm talking about. It's like you're talking about the light or something. Yeah, go find somewhere else to watch. Goodbye.
Yeah,
you know,
I've always interacted with the trolls, and
right.
because that's what, if you interact with them the correct way, it will defeat them and they will move on.
I just
and some of them actually become friendly over time, and
they always go back to where they were.
Yeah.
So, Mark's got a good question. Do you peel the stickers off Guitar Hero guitars? I generally do not. If they are coming up, sometimes they're peeling off. I will take the ones that don't look good on it, but generally, I'll just take a picture of the guitar and allow the customer. It doesn't
like
change
those stickers.
The stickers don't change the value of the guitar, so it doesn't. You're just wasting your time. Leave them on there.
If they look like hell, I would take them off.
Yeah, if they're peeling or
faded out or peeling or something.
But other than that, I'll leave them on there.
If the stickers,
some people
cool,
actually like them.
Yeah, if it's a cool sticker, that may help it.
Yeah.
Yes, Paul, I do infomercials on Philly Flipper stuff.
Hey, Mark, I got a real quick question for you, and then I got to use the restroom. I tried filing a claim for some lost standard envelope stuff, but when I put in the tracking number, and I tried looking on your channel for a video, I didn't see one on how to actually file a claim. What am I doing wrong? Because the tracking number says this isn't a valid tracking.
Does it start with ESU?
Yeah.
And what was it after 30 days and before 90 days since you did the refund?
Yes.
It should take it.
Just a regular filing it the regular way.
Well, you got to go into the eBay claim form.
It's on the eBay side.
Yeah. Go.
Oh,
yeah,
I was doing it through USPS. That's why.
No, they don't recognize those tracking numbers in USPS. Okay. Go to a video called "Get Your Money Back" on my channel.
Get your money back. Okay, I tried finding it, and I just couldn't.
It'll walk you through a review of eBay standard envelope in every field in that thing. And you got to do a couple screen prints for them, and have a PayPal address.
Fine. Yep, good.
But it has to be after 30 days, before 90, $20 or less per item, and $50 for the whole order. Also, each ESU number has a special algorithm. They know if you put it in, it'll tell you it's too early or too late.
Okay, good to know. I watched your ES580W video. That was pretty informative.
I have two of those.
I did buy that, man. That's a good little scanner.
Oh, I have two of them. Anybody need one?
All right, I gotta use the restroom. I'll be back.
Yeah. So
I need a part for one. I gotta find some parts for it. So when he shipped it, it's got the two guides that move it.
Yeah.
The first one he sent only had one of those little things. I'm like, that doesn't do any good. And I sent him pictures, and he sent me another one. He's like, I'll just keep that machine. So now I've got two of them, and one of them just is missing one. I've got to find that guide piece.
Yeah, the difference between the 400 and the 580 is the LCD screen, and how they did the hopper. On the 400, they had little guides you can put like 15 cards in, and it squeezed them. With the 580, those sliders you're talking about, I can put like 35 cards in there and just let it go.
Yeah, like what? I didn't watch the video. How much is he selling this postcard business for? WKB Walter.
I heard he's selling the process, not the whole business. How he does it, but I haven't watched it either.
I gotta watch that video. I like Walter. Walter's a good guy. That's a smart kid.
Yeah, I was always wondering about how he did the pricing, because when you do postcards, you gotta sometimes compliment and get the price and stuff. He just puts them all at $15 with best offer.
I didn't watch it. Damn it! Did anybody watch Walter's video?
They're real short. They just come on.
Yeah, that's everybody's homework. Go watch Walter's video.
Yeah, he's probably about the there's been about a half a dozen people that did the automation like that, and they do well and stuff. But when you put 10,000 cards up a week, you're going to sell a percentage of those because they're new, and you're going to get some unique ones. If he doesn't keep them new and stuff like that, they're going to go long tail and they're going to be on the same level no matter what you do. But
so do you understand his process? How he automated that?
Pretty much. I've seen it before and stuff, and people. Now, when you do sports cards, the RBI, everything's kind of standardized, the naming stuff. But with a postcard, people write on them, the different publishers, a lot of uniqueness. So it's not as standard. So he's just doing the scan, grabbing the titles, putting them out there. So he's bulk doing it, which is fine. But
I can actually, for once, add some information to this show. I watch Walter's video.
Oh, how much is he selling his processor, his car business for? He's
not. He was speculating on how he could sell it if he wanted to.
Right.
That's all he was doing. He doesn't want to sell the program because he's afraid somebody will take over the entire postcard industry with a program like that. Is what he was saying.
So Mark, I thought about you the other day, Mark. I know that's scary. So I was at the auction and talking to one of our guys. Harlan's bought stuff from him. Each week he's between me and Harlan. So any lucky he gets to talk to both of us every week. But he's not a postcard collector, but he bids and buys a lot of the postcards because he's a stamp guy. And he says a lot of these postcards, the stamps are better not. So do you ever look at the stamp? That's my question.
No.
Do you ever look at the stamps on the cards? Because he says there's some stamps on these cards that are worth stupid money.
And to find a stamp on a postcard from a postcard judge for the Stamp Association, I've met him. I got videos from him.
Right.
He said to find a stamp on a postcard is very hard to find. He's not saying they're not out there, but you got to talk about imperfections. They count the little space between the perforations, how many perforations and stuff like that. And so I don't look at the back of postcards. I don't read them. It's a rabbit hole that with the price point I do, I'll let someone else do that because I buy them right. But a lot of people, when you get a postcard and this corner up here is real soft and there's no stamp, they soak them off, steam them. They also make this stuff you put on there, Stamp Be Gone, or I don't know what it is, and they take the stamps off. But that stamp there's got a postmark across it. That takes the value down.
So you would, okay.
That little squiggly line that goes across stamp was called a killer cancel because it kills the stamp on there. So there's
so Stryker says 1.5 million for the most part.
Yeah.
I was just curious because he was adamant that they were. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. So when you find that one postcard, everybody looks for that one thing all the time. If you're looking for average stuff and putting your regular stuff that pays the bills, you're going to find it. Like I found that $1,900 card. I paid 60 cents for it. My friends helped me figure out the price. I have some Halloween cards worth $70, $80. Those are
what was the subject matter on the $1,900 card?
It was a Santa in an Uncle Sam suit, hold to the light. So when you hold it up, the light shines through the little perforations. It was a series, and it's a very unique one. I didn't know that. When on Worth Point, I jacked it way up while I did it. Connie helped me and some other people. I don't have that much knowledge to know everything. But there are some cards I probably miss. There's a couple Walt Disney ones, dioramas that are worth $80 to $150. But
hey, Mark, does this sound familiar? eBay standard envelope shipping protection insurance. Is that the right video?
Yes.
It's from 2 years
if it's lost
ago.
or damaged, if you ship it with eBay standard insurance and it's lost or damaged, you can refund the buyer and between 30 and 90 days, you get your money back. So I have no problem refunding people.
Okay,
if it's under
that's the video I
$20.
wanted then. All right.
I got $70 last year back. I don't have a lot of refunds or returns or stuff like that.
I did buy those envelopes you were talking about, and they seem a little bit nicer.
They're a little water resistant, not waterproof, but if you close it, you're going to destroy it to get it open.
But they definitely weigh a lot less than the envelopes I was using.
Oh yeah, I can put about 3 or 4 cards for 1 ounce for 69 cents.
But it's so how many? So Mark, you're so set in your ways. Do you ever change your processes, or are your processes so set that do you ever figure out wait a minute, I could be a little more efficient if I do it this way? The thought is,
Yeah, I try to change things up, like storing postcards and inventory at this 55,000 cards listed. I'm not changing because anytime you touch those boxes, I'm going to screw it up. But I change up how I box them or different things like that. Use pirate chip. Maybe I'm using something else. I'll change back. But most of it is pretty well set.
is anything but storage, because that's locked in.
Yeah, I'm not touching those. That's a lot. I dropped a box the other day. It was lucky I have them number order, so I just threw them all in a box, went upstairs, and just sat at the table for 20 minutes, put it back in there.
Yeah, can you imagine if you didn't and you were just dependent on dividers or whatever? Oh wow.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to each way to do inventory, the divider or the way I do it. It's just how you start. Once you get about 1,000 cards, you're pretty well locked in, but you will change your inventory 2 to 3 times when you do it. Everybody thinks they got the next best mousetrap. It's not there. Just like the automation with postcards, they think it's the best mousetrap. They will go long tail. You will be on the level playing field. Plus, if you're putting 60,000 cards up, you had to buy 60,000 cards. You got to store 60,000 cards.
Right.
So
you got to be. If your processes are good, your storage is not good. It don't matter how many you got, you're going to struggle mightily.
And plus, you put all that money out front. Postcards, you don't get it back right away.
Amy, yeah, we talked about it a couple weeks ago that Walmart was sending out invitations to people that they wanted them to sell used items on their site. I think that's we talked about that's the biggest threat, I think, to eBay is Walmart.
I'm not sure that would do well, but who knows? I've been wrong.
How long will it take them to train the customer? That's my question, because the customers are used to.
Like with Amazon, you can buy used on Amazon, but do people think about that when they go to Amazon?
No,
that's the thing.
There's still a lot.
Will they think about that when they go to Walmart? Probably not.
I was buying something the other day, and there was a refurbished one and a regular one on Amazon. And I'm sitting there, well, the other one's cheaper. And I looked at it and said, do I want to deal with the problem? And why is it refurbished? And the other one's new. I just bought the new one.
Well, that's what I did with the printer or the scanner. I saw that there was a lot of used ones on eBay, and that's the only way I'd buy it. But there was one from Epson that was straight from Epson that was refurbished, so I bought the refurbished one.
Yeah, the only thing with the scanners will be the number of scans, because you got to change the wheels after a little while. And they make a kit for that. It's real easy. And the lens, if they put some cards have little glitter on them, and they were made out of mica sometimes, so glass on glass scratches, and you'll get a line coming through. That's about the only thing. The wheels and the grip in it and the lenses is the.
This had 30 scans on it when I got it.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it was practically brand new. Somebody probably bought it and returned it. It went back to Epson. They refurbished it and then sent it out.
Yeah, they just clean it up. And to clean them, I just use eyeglass wipes, the generic ones. And then you don't really want to blow as much dust out of it. You want to kind of sweep it out, and you can get a blower to get out, but just it'll tell you when to clean it. But I usually do it after every bunch of stacks. And
so Kevin said, "Hey Kevin, long time no see, man. It's good to see you, buddy."
Hey, yeah, good. I was gonna send you a message to see how you're doing.
There's one process stuff I look at all the time, Scott. I change, and I question when sales go down. A lot of people start going the other way by adding promoted listings, adding money to their business. I do it just the opposite. I'm constantly looking at my subscriptions, what I'm paying for stuff, how much boxes and stuff do I keep. I have a set at the end of every month. I go through and I have a little spreadsheet and I count how many the stuff I got, and I look around for the boxes. Do I need to buy this? Because I can get stuff on Amazon within a day or two. Let them hold your inventory. I don't need 1,000 boxes sitting here. I can go out and get another 100 boxes tomorrow and have it delivered Friday. So I try to keep my expenses down. There's 10 to 12 million postcards on eBay. I can't go out and fight and comp and try to chase all the price wars. The prices are all over. There's too many sellers. So I price it the way I want, and I keep my expenses low. I need some little 751 boxes, but I got a bunch of 752s, about 100 of them. I'm going to use those instead. Why go out and spend $30 on those?
I think it's important. So I hadn't made videos in about 8-9 months. So I had turned off Epidemic Sound. That's the music service I used when I was making videos all the time. And so I made a couple, and I'm going to start making more and more videos again. And I'm like, I really don't like paying $18. Is there any other music service out there? And so I found one that's, how's it called again? I told Steve this morning, I forgot.
You told me, and I forgot to write it down.
It's called Upbeat. It's got maybe half of what Epidemic's, but it's only $5.99 a month. I mean, and so I'm like, for $5.99 a month, I was only doing a couple, 3 songs or 4 songs a week max, or a little music. Do I really need to spend that kind of money, or can I just pick something off the $5.99 and it's like, it's every time I got to buy 3 months before I get to 1 month. And so I've cut the price down dramatically on that. So
yeah, sometimes I'll go out and do the trial, and then you got to kind of put your credit card in or whatever. And then I just wanted to use it to see if I liked it. And then if you forget about it, you're paying another month. So I always write it down or leave me a reminder on my phone to cancel it if I don't like it.
Yeah. So James asked, JT, what the 1044, buy it on Amazon. So I buy it from the Boxery. This is one of the weird ones with the Boxery. If you go on their website, it's more expensive. If you go on eBay, it's more expensive, but it's cheap. It's like $39.50 for 100 on Amazon. I don't know why. It's $7 or $8 cheaper on Amazon. I don't know why.
Yeah. So expenses right now with the sales up and down, the trend's all over. It's uptrend, downtrend, side trend. So it's hard to track anything. And that's not really where the problem I see a lot of people, it's their expenses. They got too much involved. And most of I'm in profit on all my stuff. All my bills are paid on the second day of the month. That's how low my expenses are. Now, beginning of the year, I pay some bigger ones, but I put money away every month for that. But I just keep it really as low as possible because I don't know what it's going to do. Some days I'll have a $5 payout. Next day I have a $200 payout, but I'm part-time.
There's your link, JT. That's the, yeah, it's the cheapest box. I used to use a lot of 864s, and like I'll show you in the video, it's like a 0.11 or the 1044, which falls under the 0.9, so it's a cheaper box. It's still by the Boxery. It's still a heavy box, and so and if you order on Amazon, it'll tell you like it'll be there in 5 days. They are insanely fast shipping. I mean, if I order them today, it'll be here Friday. I mean, it's always 2 days. So don't believe their delivery time. Just the Boxery. I don't know what they've done lately. Supply Hut's the same way. Charlie and those guys are extremely fast and are generally just as cheap. And I've got a discount. I use Bearded. You can save money with that, but they've been out of 1044, so I've been using the Boxery.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of boxes and stuff because I do the envelopes, and these are 12 to 14 cents, depends how many you buy. You just gotta. I got probably 4,000 here. I got some in the Ko-Fi store, and then the rest I keep because during COVID you couldn't get these. They were hard, and Walmart got them one time. I went out and bought like 6,000 of them on Walmart and cleaned them out as much as I could, and because we're using the bigger Juvel ones like Steve was using, but they're two ounces right off the start. So
so Mark, what can you fit in that box? If you sell health and beauty, a lot of health and beauty fits. Remember I told you I sold some deodorant this morning? Deodorant fits in that box. I sent 2 shampoos out yesterday in that box. Airspray fits in that box. It just absolute tons of stuff fits in that box. The cameras and stuff that I would ship in an 864, fit just as well in the 1044. So yeah, it's that's so JT, that's a great point. With resellers are quitting it's an opportunity to keep a look on Facebook Marketplace. Buy their supplies, buy their equipment. They're looking to get out of it. That's not a time when somebody's looking to make a profit on things. They're looking to at cost or less, knowing. Can a pound fit in that box? Like you can put a brick in that box.
One of the biggest things for me, Scott, is I put stuff in the mailbox a lot. Like today, I had 3 Ko-Fi and a bunch of postcard envelopes. If it can fit in my little mailbox out there, I don't have to make a trip. Dana will pick it up, no problem.
Mark, the other Mark had a great point. Are you evaluating to save money? That's what hit me with the 1044 box. Is it's not that much different than the 864, except for over time it saves you a fortune, because if I'm putting these heavier 1 pound or 2 pound items in that box, whenever it goes above a pound, that box is in the lowest level of all the shipping, and so it might only be 75 cents a box, but I have ordered 600 of those boxes in the last 3 months. I'm using an average of 200 a month. It becomes the box. The box is only 39.5 cents. It's saving me an average of 75 cents every time I use it. The box is paying for it. I mean, I'm making money by it's just the way I look at it. I'm making money by switching, because I can get the 864 cheaper on but not enough not 75 cents a box cheaper.
Yeah, so expenses are a big thing.
JT, I'm the same way, man. So I found somebody that had the fold them ups. I ended up being like 742s, but because I like the way it gives them more protection. Those ones that fold, playing origami to the box.
Yeah.
Those boxes to me provide a little more protection for the items I send. So I've even put cameras and stuff in those boxes, because I mean, you've got to run over that little box with a truck to do anything to it. Mark, I noticed the same thing. You're using a lot of fill in those boxes. You're still putting fill in the 1044 box, but it's cheaper to ship. So a lot of box talk. Yeah, we're gonna have Connie show up if we keep talking about boxes.
So I can take a lot of 100 postcards and I put it in here. And whenever you buy a lot of postcards from me, I always throw in a free pack of sleeves. It'll fit right in here. I close it, put tape on it, put it in there. And if it's just a real photo postcard, it goes in these. But I got a bunch of the 2 ones. I'm going to use those up.
Hey, Javis, JT, check Supply Hut. I think they were the cheapest last time I looked for the bubble mailers, and use code Bearded. It'll give you another 5% off. I think Supply Hut, when I went to looking, was the cheapest. But, Amy wanted to laugh, but she only laughed part of the way because she just put LO.
She went low.
She remembered she was at work and she couldn't really laugh out loud as much. I got it.
If I can show it to you.
But not as many people spend a lot of time talking about this. This is where the rubber meets the road. If you're a full-time reseller and can't think your way through this to evaluate your processes and to where you're saving money on every single thing you do and making yourself more efficient and more profitable, because right now, John's been talking about this. There's a culling, and we talked about it on the podcast, Profit Playbook podcast. Make sure you check us out. Me and John were pretty good this week. Talked about saving money.
We held it down.
There's a culling out of resellers right now. It's going to get tougher. I think we've got another year of toughness. And so can you survive? You're going to be 10 times better reseller on the other side. Will you pick better? You're probably going to pick the same. But if your processes are better, if your expenses are better, and you're much better at the business side and the functional side of reselling, man, this time next year, you're going to be amazing. But you've got to get there. Amy says she's off today.
So, Scott, my 60th birthday, my 40th anniversary, my wife picked this up for me at an auction. I was bidding on it, and she was bidding on it. She wanted me to have it. It's an arcade exhibit card, 2 cents. You put that in there, and you get a card.
That is cool.
This is
That is
about
cool.
$500 to $600, but it has the original 2-cent. Everything works. Got the weights and stuff like that. It's not for sale, she told me. But
Shouldn't you like put a picture on it and it shows like a drone now since you're into drones?
oh, I had a drone down. A drone man down.
Man down, not man down.
I clipped a tree at my brother's farm, and my expensive one came down and it hit and broke the gimbal. I sent it in back in the DJI with my insurance. 7 days later, I had a brand new drone.
That's cool. That's good to know.
Man down.
Man down.
It got caught in that tree, and it just started spinning and coming down. I'm sitting there, and it fell right on there. My brother says, "I'll just leave it up there. My son will go climb it."
See, I told y'all Amy Lee's a hustler. She was an usher at a concert last night, taking people to their seats.
Ursher, baby. Ursher.
Yeah. Get your tickets yet?
Over in November.
Get your tickets yet?
I don't even know a song he sings.
I've got mine. Friday night.
Never heard of
Friday
a
night?
song.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get mine.
Yeah, I got 2 jobs set up for in 2 weeks for 2 roofs. Roofing company wants me to go out and just take a
Nice.
picture
There
around
you
it.
go.
And then that'll pay for my insurance for a month. My insurance a month is $44. A few other things. I need about $70, $80 a month just to break even on my expenses. That's it for the drones. Now for the capital expenditure, that's down the road. So
What's up, Glenn?
Harlan, let's go to a real concert, Tuscaloosa on September 20th. We can go have lunch with Dylan and then go see Cody Jinks that Friday night. I'm telling you.
Who the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Jennifer, do you hear this? Jennifer, do you hear? I told you he didn't know who the hell he.
I'm going to Post Malone. My next 2 concerts are Post Malone and Usher. Who the hell is Cody Jinks?
He's the large independent country artist.
You need one another
Good night,
concert I'm going to
everybody.
this weekend.
They don't
Just
play
had
on
to
my
look him
rock
up.
station.
What'd you say, John?
So you didn't want another concert I'm going to this weekend. I'm dragging Jen out to it.
Oh Lord.
R&B, 90s R&B stuff.
Cody
So
Jinx
Pat-
needs a shave.
So Tactical asked me why the obstacle avoidance didn't work. There's different modes, and I had it in sport mode, which turns that off. I was flying around. I was doing about 40 miles an hour coming back across the farm.
So sport mode, is that the one all these YouTubers use whenever they're driving down the road and the thing's keeping up with them?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The thing will do about 40 miles an hour. And cinema mode is the real slow one. Normal mode is what I usually stay in. But I was way out in the field looking at a coyote den. And he thought there was a lot of coyotes out there, and we thought they were out there. So I flew out there. To get out there, you go fast and come back. Well, coming back, I forgot I had it on and I clipped a tree.
Hey, so I got us meet us somewhere in Ohio so we can. Do you have thermal on that thing?
No.
How are Steve and I supposed to find Bigfoot if you can't help
I
us
know.
with thermal in the air?
That would be cool.
A lot of people use it for that. Of course, has never been any.
We don't need this kind of
good
negativity.
video.
We don't need this kind of negativity. Don't be shaking your head. Damn it.
There's no such thing as Bigfoot. Don't cut me out. Don't cut me out.
Unfortunately, I'm getting closer to Harlan's side than my
It's a
old
myth. It's a
beliefs.
myth. Don't fall for it.
There's a guy that's using those things to find lost dogs and stuff like that. It's a service.
Has he done well with it? Has he been able to find dogs with it?
Yeah, he found a couple, and it's a service in a small town down south somewhere. They're doing it, and then they use it for tracking kids in wilderness rescue crews.
You don't pay unless I find your dog.
Yeah, so there's a big ban going on. They want to ban DJI in China stuff, all this stuff, and DJI drones are used by search and rescue and police departments and for all that. And right now they can't buy a lot of the parts for their stuff, and they got thousands and tens of thousands of dollars in there. And the search and rescue is really worried about that ban. It's going through its election year crap, you know.
Yeah, it's just
So I had an interesting thought. Maybe this is kind of crazy. So I forget who I was listening to yesterday, but they were might have been Tucker, might have been one of those guys, but they were there's an attack on the petrodollar right now. The U.S. has really dominated the world with two things: control of the petrodollar and a lot of guns. and so our prices and stuff are lower. And they're making the point that if the petrodollar collapses, which is a significant thing in the next few years, that prices are going to go just crazy through the roof because. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm sitting on a gold mine. Be aware that the parts thing and stuff might be even crazier if as prices continue to spiral out of control. The pricing part, the being able to part out items and making that a part of your business and at least understanding it so you can move that way, could be my thoughts was, as the economy improves, what if the economy never improves? What if the US dollar does collapse like they say it's going to collapse? And do you trust your government not to collapse it on their own so they don't lose power and go to jail? There's weird things happening, folks. There's a reason why a illegitimate prosecutor filed charges again on Trump yesterday.
Same charges.
They're scared to death of what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, parting out. So I sent John a message saying we had a problem. I bought another lawnmower yesterday, and my idea was already to part out, John, because the battery is worth a good bit on that thing.
Yeah,
it's got the big battery. It's got the 7.5 hour battery on it. The last one sold for $3.25. And
well, we just sold 2 of the wheels for the lawnmower that I took apart. So it's amazing that you wouldn't think, well, why don't they just buy a new lawnmower? Who's going to want to get in there and replace wheels on this thing? But people
it's not a hard job, and there's a lot of DIYers out there, and like Scott said, I mean, I would rather replace a wheel than go buy a whole new lawnmower.
Hey, good morning, Josh. I have a question for you. You see, you buy that Korean car and didn't listen and buy a Toyota, and you catch your death. You see what happens there? You shouldn't diss Toyota like that. You probably wouldn't even got sick if you'd have leased a Toyota.
This person bought 3 of my 4 wheels from that lawnmower at $22.49 a piece plus shipping, which is they're like 12 ounces, so they're not that big. So we made about $78 on the 3 wheels before we ship it out.
Y'all read this with. You don't know how much money is sitting in their chassis. Each one of them blades is worth money. The dispenser cups are worth money. Sell the motors separate. It's amazing. I've been picking up stuff. I've yet to part them out because I continue to buy everything else.
My wife did really good on glass lids because people break glass.
I break lids. And so I went. Was I buying myself at that estate sale? No, it was the one me and Harlan went to last Friday. We went to a half off estate sale, and in the kitchen cabinet there was ended up being a 7 or 8 piece Revere. Damn, Harlan just left just like that. Y'all see that? I reminded him he must not have supposed to have been at the estate sale. Did he get in trouble? It was all Revere ware copper bottom, Clinton, Illinois, and I was just gonna run. It was $22.50, or no, that was was it $22.50? They were $30. I paid $15 for them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to run them to the auction. They're going to get $15, $20 each and be done with it. And you started looking up sets. I'm like, the last 8-piece set of Revere ware copper bottom, somebody got like 130 plus shipping. Somebody had a 9-piece set that went for 178. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I can't run this to the auction. I got to figure out how to get a better picture of it. John's time, it was really a steal. It was $15. Sorry, it was my bad. It wasn't the $22.50. The $22.50 was the Craftsman wrenches. There was a full set of from an inch all the way down to a half of Craftsman closed-in wrench. I guess box-in, closed-in, whatever that's called. Then a full set of the metric.
So, John, you did a video, and I replied to you. A real long thing. I just said yes. I just said yes. It was about, do you need to know a lot about a niche or something like that?
Oh, that's the one I did at the beach. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just wrote yes. For what I do, you need to know a little bit about these. But Walter doesn't know postcards. He even said that. He's getting to know them. He will know them more. But to really get into it, I just put yes. I think you should. So if you're parting out appliances, you guys know about those. You already know what to pull out of these things. That's, to me, that's a niche.
Well, we're learning as we go. I mean, we have so many different types of things that we're parting out.
But I learn as I go every time I pick up one of these things.
We used to go to the bin stores, pick up an appliance, and then my wife would come home and research every part on that thing and see what sold. Mm-hmm. We had an idea that parts on that particular item would sell. So it's a learn as you go type of thing. But yeah, I think you're right. If you didn't watch that, you should probably know about the niche.
I didn't watch that video because I'm protesting the wind noise.
Yeah, it was bad. I didn't have my my wind protector, but I guess the point of me making that video was to say that, do you have to have product knowledge to do well on eBay or to make sales on eBay? And you really don't, because you have so much knowledge at your fingertips through Google. You don't have to be an expert on it. But if you can niche down and to where you've handled that particular item so many times that you've now become an expert with it, right? You can answer questions that you may have had to look up before, right? Mm-hmm. You might be able to add to, maybe add some information to your listing that maybe is pertinent to someone who might want to buy that because you know so much about it that someone who doesn't know will just leave out. So there's an advantage to having product knowledge.
Yeah, there's like here on the back, you get to know that little postmark, if it said RPO, that's a railroad postmark. Or post office not there. Those are the things you get down deep in. But I'm saying you guys know more about things, and I don't want to part things out right now. I don't have to. If I had to, I would. I'd go out and get wheels or whatever I had to do if I was full time.
Don't ignore stuff like this. Pick this up at the thrift store yesterday. $2 because it's just a keyboard. $2. It just sold for 30 plus 9 shipping. These Apple keyboards.
I don't like that style, but it is a very good seller. I've sold.
That's the better one of the two.
I have the older big key. I got this from Thrifty Santa, by the way.
Yeah,
I traded a blow mold for it, but I like the big old keyboards.
So Scott, my brother bought a lake house down in Indiana, about an hour and a half from me, and we're going down there getting things ready, electric and stuff. And I went down and checked out his TVs. The people went to Europe and left them everything. Fishing poles, everything's in the house. They didn't take anything. So he bought the whole deal. Well, I was doing the TV. He wants to put one outside that he can wheel in and out for his football games. I go, where's the remote? It's an LG. Couldn't find it. I said, give me the model number. I went on eBay and we bought a little remote for $7. So someone got a garage sale or had it and we picked it up.
That keyboard will hook up to anything Bluetooth.
So Javis, I just turned it on and plugged it in and went to my PC and hit Bluetooth add device. System administrators keyboard input. Do I want to connect to it? Sure.
You can even use the Magic Mouse on a Windows machine. I think they're just Bluetooth devices.
Something I just noticed this morning, sending out offers. Be careful out there. If you're on the PC, they try to do this to me this morning. It defaults for me as the amount price that I'm sending. So if it's $79.99, I might send the offer for $69.99. But then after you do a few, I had like 13 to send. It'll change it to percent off or amount off on its own, and you're maybe doing something, or like on a podcast, like I am. Sending out offers, just kind of doing it, and you might screw up. So just be careful. I didn't screw up.
I'll finish the keyboard real quick. So this thing has no buttons. There's only an on and off switch. If it's not connected to anything, it is in search mode. You don't have to Bluetooth it. You don't have to do anything to it. There is one model that's up on this one. You'll notice on the key right here on the very end, it'll have a circle in it. It does the Touch ID. That keyboard is worth like $70. This is the one before it. What every
There's
Apple
also
product, they're all the
there's
same.
also the extended keyboard that
the
has
model number's right
the
there
number
somewhere.
pad on it.
You can't see the model number, but it's right there. So JT, all you have to do is put a charger on it. If it's not charged up, turn it on, and it's in mode looking for it. So okay, y'all go ahead and do it.
It's real super easy to look up those products because all the model numbers start with what the letter A.
Yeah, it's an A1644.
So you look up that. You can look it up on Google. You can look it up on eBay, and it'll tell you exactly what that thing is. It's easy to look up Apple products.
John, with offers, you probably think I'm crazy, but with postcards, most of my postcards are $5 to $8. So I got almost 5,000 watchers on my cards all the time. When I look at the summary and active, I send out offers and I put 10%, no counter offer, because I don't do best offer on $4 to $5 cards. I'm not going to fight for 50 cents, and I hit automatic, and I just let it go 10%. It's all figured in the price.
Right. Well, I like to look at how long the item's been sitting around.
Yeah.
I'm more willing to give a more aggressive discount if I have someone possibly interested, or looking at an item that I have for sale that's been sitting, versus I just listed this last night. I'm not going to get it aggressive, right? So 10% usually doesn't sway people enough, considering that I have that same 10% discount in the listing anyway with my coupon. So if they didn't like it with the price with the coupon, they may not like the offer that I send them. So I try to get a little bit above 10%, but it just really depends on how long I've had that item sitting around.
Yeah, everything in my store, it's automatic 10%. I got stuff in my first box from May 2019 is my oldest card sitting up there. I sell out of all the boxes all the time, but most of the cards I list, I sold when I tracked it for about 6 months. Most of the cards I sold were listed from 1 to 18 months. That's 60%. The other ones were just randomly through the older boxes and stuff. So most of my cards will sell in the first 18 months if they do whatever sold, not sell-through rate. Sell-through rate is 1 to 2% out of all these cards.
Yeah, Chassis, you don't have to. Just if they're since they're Bluetooth, if they work on one computer, they'll work on all of them. But I did buy one yesterday, Steve, too. Also, they had 2 of them. They had a wire. They had this one in the wire, and I'm like, it was $1. I'm like, I'm not leaving the big numeric just like this one, but wire for $1.
Some people would rather have the keyboard.
If you can buy any Apple product for $1, you're probably not as buy it.
Well, yeah, and some people would rather have the keyboard with the number pad attached. Some people.
That's when I got this computer in 2020, my 20 whatever inch, the big one. I spent extra just to get that number. Yeah, I like the number pad. I use it a lot.
Yeah.
I won't use a keyboard without a number pad because I just can't. I don't like it. So when you at the yard sale, that number pad one's going to go for more than the one without it. Just the way it is.
Steve Todd walked out, Scott.
What?
He walked out. He said he was issued his walking papers. Did he walk out like?
Yeah, so Kevin's right. So the model before this one has the little round, like almost like a rest, but it holds 2 double or triple A batteries in it. That's how it's powered. This one's got a battery in it, but that one has, you have to replaceable batteries, but you have to check for 2 things. The batteries do corrode and those things a lot, and also make sure that the cap's on it, because a lot of times I'll pick them up and the cap is gone. It's a little screw off cap that gets lost. I haven't tried to buy one, but I'm sure you can buy replacements. I'm sure.
Yeah, but that one sells for decent money too, at least $25.
It's less than this one. This one's the next one up, so it's nicer.
I like that one because it has the tilt to it because of the battery compartment.
Yeah. But it's, the other thing, JT, make sure you're using. Everybody should have a UPS account, even if you use Pirate Ship for it, because they will give you free supplies. I got the boxes. I got 12 10-3s and 9-6-3s in yesterday.
Yep.
If you sell figures, like toy figures, man, those boxes are really nice, because they're another one of those boxes you got to run over with a truck, because they just don't take damage, because they're when you fold those two flaps in on the end, it gives such rigidity to those ends. The box doesn't give.
Yeah, I've had more people ask me where I get those, and I got to explain to them UPS business account and stuff like that. And
it looks. I'll pull it up. So it doesn't look like
they call it a security box, don't they?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that I'm having to. Let me log into UPS.
I actually got two of them right here. This is the big one, and this is the small one. This way. So
Come on, UPS, let me in.
those are free.
Order supplies. All right. All right. Let's share screen. Present. Share screen. Packing materials. Share. All right. So if you go to order supplies,
You know,
you can get labels here. Can y'all see this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can get labels. Watch out for that big roll. The very first.
Yeah, don't do that.
One of the roll that says it's 900. That's the roll you need. That's still the smaller one.
some people said they can't see some of this stuff. Scott, have you had that problem where you can't see?
Yeah. You have to have a business account.
Well, you got a business account. They went in there, like Adam from Pittsburgh Picker can't buy the labels or get the
See
labels.
right here where it says small security
weird.
box. It shows it doesn't show the box. The box is plain. You see right here in the writing, it says a plain corrugated box. You just hit one of each.
It doesn't have the UPS markings.
It doesn't, but
Completely a plain
it
box.
confuses people. It confuses people that it. Yeah, I don't see the direct thermal
That's what it
roll.
looks like.
This is the one. If you look at it, it's 940 per roll. It's tough to use in your printer because you've got to have something that'll hold that big roll up. I've got it over there. I've got another roll inside of a roll that.
The first time I ordered, I made that mistake. So I have a roll around here somewhere.
Yeah. I have a Rollo and that other ID PRT one, and so I use the fan fold because it's not inside like a Zebra or one of the other ones.
I have the Zebra, but I have because you can the labels they send you are huge, a huge stack of fan fold labels. And so I keep them in a box underneath. I have a table underneath my desk. The printer sits on that table. And then underneath that table, I have a box with all the labels in it. So it just comes out from underneath the table and back around the back side of the table.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know there's a printer in my office.
So Eric is right.
Where's that box, by the way? They're really nice. So they're not. That's the small version. There's two.
Eric is right. You can get the half labels too. Where there's two labels on per page on a regular to run through a laser printer.
I've had some issues with those get stuck inside my printer, or my wife has, so we stopped ordering. She'd rather buy her labels because she uses a regular printer. But maybe her printer just likes to grab things.
Amy says that some people have been getting restricted lately from free supplies.
Yeah.
Adam, some people are overusing them, I'm sure.
He doesn't see the same stuff I see, and I looked at his company.
So I think UPS, hopefully they're getting smart because it's very irritating that you can go on eBay right now and people are getting those supplies just to sell them on eBay.
This is a plain box. I've seen these for sale on eBay and Mercari. And you know they're the same box because the sizes match, the style matches, everything's the same.
And you also know that UPS is one of the few companies that won't put the who made the box on there because they don't need that. If you get a box from the Boxery or Supply Hut, it's going to have crush ratings and stuff on it.
This has no markings at all, and that's what it folds up into. This is the smaller one, but boy, are they nice. I love them.
So I guess I'll show that. I'll make a short video of my setup over there with the big roll. I've got a big roll on it right now. Because I ordered one of the $9 little things that holds a roll for my Chinese printer behind it. But that big 940 roll is so heavy, it won't pull it off for the first, the first couple hundred. Once it gets below like 700, it'll work like normal. The weight's off of it. But if you put I put one of the small rolls inside of the big roll, so it turns easier than it does on that piece of plastic. So it pulls it off okay. So there's ways around it. I started off by doing what Eric does is pull them off and just have a bunch of them come out, just sit there behind it. But I figured out how to make the roll work. But it's take advantage of that, especially if you're like me and ship a ton UPS anyway. I mean, I bet I ship 70% UPS. I know that's like cussing to John. He uses FedEx.
I'm not a fan of FedEx myself, but
they come to the house. That's good. They've never missed a
well,
pickup.
yeah. I mean, it's the same with me. The reason and Scott, the reason we use UPS, they come to the house. We have it set up that way.
Yeah, FedEx for me, since they took away since the evil bastards took away our first of all, they took away my Rite Aid. And then they took away the Walgreens that replaced the Rite Aid, and now I don't have FedEx out here. So
they're taking away our Rite Aids too, by the way. We're down to one in the county right now, and it's closing, I think, this week.
Yeah.
There's lots of. So is it worth going to cons, John? We actually have a cons, and it's closing.
Yeah, I noticed they jack up the MSRP,
yeah,
and then they apply, but you can still get some good discounts. Got a really nice dining room set for like $900. We have that Samsung fridge we got a good deal on, and picked up a TV while I was there. But I was trying to get some Apple products, like they still have some MacBooks.
I bet they sold out though.
No, because their prices, again, they jack up their MSRPs on some of these things, and it's still a discount. But I'm like, let me know when you guys like get down, 50, 60% off.
I bet the Apple products won't make it that far.
Yeah.
Because the one thing with buying and using Apple products is they hold their value much.
They do.
But also if you're doing things to upgrade for your business and you want to be in the Apple ecosystem, the M1 chip is crazy strong. The M1 the $649 brand new at Walmart. The MacBook Air M1 is still a solid investment.
I haven't been able to pull the trigger on that yet. I want to, but I don't need it, so I haven't.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a need, but we have Dennis' computer needs to be upgraded, and I figured we can maybe just have the laptop in there hooked up to her monitor, right? And then we need to bring the computer. It's the same setup. We just bring it with us when we go someplace, and we're not,
That's the only reason I use my laptop is when I'm traveling or sometimes in the morning. So if I'm looking for yard sales on a Friday, I'll use the laptop because it's a little bit easier than the iPad. But I don't have enough use for a laptop. I use the desktop mostly.
Yeah, I had a bunch of little small format square PCs called from B-Link, one of them about this big, 8 gigs of RAM, Windows 10. Most of the stuff for reselling is all web-based. So all the processing is done up there. You don't need a lot of processing. You just need something to get you on the web. And start off with that. That's what runs that PC. It's tied to the back up there.
I use my laptop is a 2013 MacBook Air. It works fine for reselling. I don't need. That's why I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I don't really need to. I can watch YouTube on it. I can do Facebook on it, TikTok, whatever I want.
Yeah, this is a MacBook Pro. I got it a year ago, and everything works on that. I'm more of a Windows guy because I was working in the most industry, but I have both. I like the folder setup better in Windows than I do in Mac. I don't like the Finder. I don't like the Finder
either. Yeah.
So, but I have Apple TV, I have Apple Watch, iPads, iPhones. So we're in the Echo system.
We are too.
You give me an Android phone, I'm just going to give it to my son. I don't even mess with it.
I find benefits to both. I'm not a dyed in the wool
repair them and
iPhone
fix
guy.
them years ago, but I just got out of all that. They work just as fine. They're all the same.
It's just a different way to do it. It's like Windows and Mac OS or Linux. They all in the end do the same thing. It's just a different way of getting there.
I could always, when I ran the data center, we had thousands of servers. We had Linux, everything, right? I can always tell the Linux guys because they're sitting over there non-shaven, typing all these commands in.
And they think they're smarter than you.
And some of them were.
Some of them are. It's just another way to get the same thing accomplished.
I used to be mesmerized. People would laugh because I'd sit there and watch the tape robots go out and take the tapes and run it down and put it in the slots. And we had big ones. You could walk into these things. And I don't know how they work.
Have that.
But, I did all the transmission lines.
Yes, Kevin, I'm still driving at least until October.
There's a Linux guy down the hallway from me, and he's just wired differently. He's a different breed, just different.
Yeah, there's some people I had staff 25, 30 people sometimes, programmers and developers. I put them at a desk, I bring them in, put them at a desk. Don't even give them a phone. Just give them a couple monitors, a keyboard, and a computer, and tell them what to do. They're happy. You don't want to put those people in front of customers because they say stupid stuff. Then you got to say you're sorry.
No,
Linux. You're right. Kent's right. Linux people are like the male equivalent of cat ladies.
One system I worked on was called Edify. It was a virtual VRU system where you press the buttons and stuff years ago. All the commands inside were cat stuff. The lady that built this Unix system was cat. There was puffy and purring. You had to type these commands and make things go.
He was right once.
Even he agrees. He didn't even argue.
Right.
Yeah.
So I understand. I get it. I'm never right either.
You have to watch those Cajun people. They're a different breed.
But what some of those guys can do with computers and programming and stuff is just amazing. And I could sit and talk to them for hours.
I am.
And they come out of it.
I'm so mad at myself because I wanted to do that when I was younger and I never got into it.
But it's gonna be a lot more available to us as well because a lot of these language models will write the code for you. Like for building websites, I was watching someone the other day who was showing that he was wanting to build a website, and so he was starting by getting one of the AI language models to write the code for him. In the video, he only showed so much of it because it would go too far down the screen. But so he had to just started making some simple stuff, and it was very quick. I mean,
so I'm an electronician that's my degree in technical management. 35 years ago, that's what I did as assembly. I worked at a place. I had these chips in one box. I had to put them in this thing, erase them, and reprogram them to make the little yellow light come on the Canon phone or camera. So I had to put this code in there. It was like 10 lines to move that over to the register. Now you can just drop and hit a button. Back then we had to write all the code on assembly. So to send characters to a printer, to a register, clear registers and stuff. Now it's just drag and drop.
So John's atomic. That'd be interesting to hear about, John. He said he got Chat GP to building an inventory system.
We're still in the early days of this,
Interesting.
AI assisted programming. I can't wait to see what it's going to be.
So they finally packaged AI to where they can get it out to people to understand it. We used stuff like this years ago to manipulate programming. It's just reading data. It's if and then and else.
Sure.
Stuff like there. But it's got so much to pull from now in the internet, the data and stuff. Most of it, though, I'm finding is you got to verify what it says. Because if I do postcards with it, the dates and stuff are not correct. So it takes longer to verify than it is you wrote it yourself sometimes. But they do.
And that, it makes up like the whole strawberry thing you sent me. Was it Beard? You sent me that the misspelling of strawberry. How many R's are in strawberry? And it comes back and says, "Oh, there's 2 R's in strawberry," and then he's like, "No, it's 3." And like, "Oh, we're sorry, we screwed up." It's like, how do you screw that up?
That wasn't me.
Somebody sent it to me.
Like Kent. Kent's weird.
Probably.
Most of the postcard people, I did a poll. I said, do you use AI or does it suck? And 75-80% says it sucks. Because it's pulling from item specifics and title. It's not bringing anything new, and they got to verify it. And time is money in postcards. You don't have a lot of time.
We're just at the beginning of all this, though. Just imagine in a couple of years, where all this information systems and stuff are as they continue to learn and get more efficient and improve on themselves.
What I like the most about it, I can tell it create a paragraph about drones flying or something. If I typed it, it sounds like a 5-year-old wrote it. They type it, it's proper English, punctuation. It looks good. So that's what I use it for.
But that's the interesting thing with our coming to phones. It probably won't be till February, early next year. Even though Apple came out and showed everything that it's going to be able to do, it's not there yet. But to be able to the rewrite stuff, some of that stuff is there already. So I've got the beta, and it'll tell you. You can tell it to rewrite it professional, rewrite it friendly.
Yeah.
And it takes my my kindergarten English and actually makes it sound normal, which is. All right, 10 o'clock. I have an hour before we have to leave, so I need to ship 5 things. That's not what I said, Kent. I heard all LSU fans were betas. Roll Tide.